great to be here at South Summit today. I'm Maya Hornby, a reporter at Sifted, the Financial Times-backed media publication covering European tech startups and venture capital. I'm very excited to be sharing the stage with the founder of health insurance unicorn Alan, Jean-Charles Samuelian-Weve. Jean-Charles launched Alan in 2016 to create a tech-first healthcare insurance product for companies to roll out to their employees. The company is a licensed insurer, which is no easy feat. Before Alan, the last company to receive a health insurance license in France was in 1986, before Jean-Charles was even born. Alan now offers a range of app-based services, from reimbursements to healthcare products and access to doctors. It has raised over 650 million euros, hit a 5 billion euro valuation in March, and has amassed over 1 million users, largely in France, but also in Belgium, Canada, and Spain. I imagine there are a couple of users in the audience today. In 2025, Alan grew its annual recurring revenue by more than 50% to 785 million euros, with a target of 1 billion euros by the end of 2026. He also found the time to co-found AI frontier lab Mistral, where he's now an advisor and board member, which now has a 12 billion euro valuation and is one of the most valuable scale-ups on the continent. Let's start high level. What is preventative health care, and what's the most exciting way you've seen it develop in the last 10 years?
Hi everyone. Hi Maya. Thank you very much for hosting us. And the last 10 years have been insane for Alan and for healthcare. First, because Alan was born and we have started to have an impact on more than 1 million persons. But I think they've been like events, once in a century events, like a global pandemic. And there have been a lot of negatives about it, and the impact of society has been really bad. But it has also been a wake-up call for many, many people about the importance of healthcare, of taking ownership of your own health, that it cannot depend only on the system, and that prevention is a key. And so we're starting to see that trend happening. And so, yes, there are technologies that are evolving, and you see like the acceleration of science in DNA testing and so on. But the most interesting thing is really about the society shift in perception of what does matter. And healthcare is the foundation of everything, the foundation of everything in life, and I think everybody realized it.
And so how does Alan actually help users access preventative healthcare?
It's been the core of our mission. We like to call ourselves like not a health insurance, but a prevention insurance. And we built a full ecosystem, integrated ecosystem of insurance, and like the best insurance that reimburses super fast. The idea behind Alan is health cannot wait. And so health cannot wait for you to find an appointment to the doctor, you to get reimbursed, you to act on a small problem that could become very big if you don't cure it. We all have like situations in our personal life or in our families where we didn't do the checkup, we didn't listen to the body signal, and it ended up in a burnout, it ended up in a cancer that was diagnosed too late, and I've been going through that in my family. And we can change that. And so the goal of Alan is to help people change those behaviors thanks to amazing care navigation using AI, a medical team, concierge, amazing health insurance experience, but also very engaging, almost gamified prevention tools that make people walk more, so do a lot more steps, fight sedentarity, act on their mental health, act on their back, act on their sleep, act on their nutrition, and be like that partner that we should all have in our pocket.
And Alan is quite unique because you can do so many things in the same place. Why does it make sense to do it all on one platform, apart from for like phone space?
I think we went from we are one individual, like our mental health is not disconnected to our physical health, it's very interconnected. The way you're doing a checkup or a medical visit is going to have an impact down the line on everything. And so we don't think that having 10 apps to manage your health makes sense. We think and believe, and our members believe that health should be in one single place, and you should have all your information, all your prevention, and all your navigation, because it builds on each other, and it gets to kind of amazing numbers. If you look at our number of daily active users in Spain, for example, we are 22% daily active users. So it's 1 out of 5 members that act on their health every single day thanks to us in Spain. And that, I think, is unseen in our industry first, but is because you have everything in one place. So one day you need to do more steps, one day you need to act on your mental health, one day you need to pay your food thanks to our flexible benefits offer in Spain. And the combination of all those things create an amazing ecosystem.
And how does all users' information being in the same place, how has that helped you design and deploy agentic workflows within the space?
Yes, that has been the core of what we do. We have a lot of agentic workflow, but one of the most important one is the one we call Mo. And Mo is your AI healthcare companion in the app, available 24/7, which both answers your question like you would have on another large language model, but a lot smarter because it knows your history, it knows your past claims, it knows your family, it knows your past interaction with our medical team, and that is really strong. But it can also be proactive, again, because we know you. We know when was your last checkup. We know when you have a medical visit, and we can follow up 3 days later to help you. It's very proactive, and we see that members love that proactivity when it's done in a very smart way. It also knows very deeply the healthcare system. It's a lot more integrated, meaning that it can book an appointment for you. It can call a clinic for you, or to say, I want to see a dermatologist in 2 days in Madrid, and it's going to call like 3 clinics to find the right appointment for you with a doctor that matches what you need. And it's integrated with the rest of the experience. So if, for example, you want to start like preparing for a marathon, you want to run the 40 kilometers of Madrid, it's going to build a plan for you that is going to be introduced in our gamification engine with the daily activities that fit your need in a very personal and integrated way. And that's what makes it unique, a lot more integrated, a lot more powerful, and it compounds. The last step that I think is really interesting is that it's human and AI at the same place. So when Mo finds that it's limited its answer, it can bring in the conversation a doctor, right now through chat or through video, and the doctor that has all the context already, so he or she is really significantly faster at answering your needs with a lot more context. And that's, I think, the beauty of the integration of everything in one app, is that you can escalate or descalate very fast between AI and humans.
And in terms of Mo's proactivity, could you give me a sort of concrete example of what that looks like?
Yeah. So, like, there are so many incredible stories, but one that I checked a few. We have an internal love wall of stories from our member. I checked a few before going on stage this morning, and there were one of a mother with a toddler that was really stressed about a pediatric question. A baby was behaving a bit weirdly, and so she asked Mo a few questions. Mo reassured her, but then the next day, Mo proactively asked, did that pattern that you've seen on your baby stop, or is it still there? And she said, it's still there. And so Mo said, okay, you should here is what you should do. She answered a few questions and so on. Then Mo brought in the pediatrician in the discussion. Pediatrician said, you should go consult right now. Mo did book the appointment for the person the same day, and then it followed up like that. And so it was like fully integrated in her story. And the mother told us, like, I would have waited for 2 or 3 or 4 more days to book the appointment, and it needed an emergency room. So it's like the limit between sometimes life and death for a toddler, and that's the kind of stories we love, like the level of proactivity, tracking the right information at the right time, and so on.
And have you found that customers' engagement with Mo has been sort of consistent since you launched it?
Yeah.
Or do you think as people are becoming more used to kind of, I don't know, talking to Claude, talking to Mistral about their training plans, they're more used to kind of logging on to Alan and
we definitely see that we have more and more people starting to use it, and then people that start use it more and more, because you discover the capacity of the tool by using the tool, and so it grows over time in a pretty significant way, and so people use them to solve their sleep problem, to think about nutrition, to navigate the healthcare system, to check their cardiovascular risk, to talk about topics they don't dare talking about to humans. So it can be like sexology problem, hair loss problem, those kind of things where you are really happy to know that you are in a known and safe environment, which is not just a random LLM on the web, but where doctors can escalate, but where you have an instant answer and you're not going to be judged.
And what's next for Mo?
So many things, but we keep building. Like Mo today, we say Mo, but in fact it's already 20 agents working together with a coordination agent, like a lot of special agents. And so we are going to add more specialties, like if you would train more doctors in a medical team, like Mo is kind of a medical team on demand, but again, combined with human doctors to make it work. Keep integrating, so more verticals and more skills to Mo. Roll it out to every geography as well, because right now it's very French focused. We have a first step of Mo in Spain, which is calling clinics to book appointment for you, but we are going to roll out everything in all our geographies. And it keep building more into the integration between the prevention engine, the very specialized programs that we have on mental health, back pain, that we are launching on women's health, weight management, GLP-1 and so on, and integrating them in Mo. And the last one is we launched in France, and we are scaling it, what we call Alan Precision, which is a very advanced blood test, which is more than 80 biomarkers to help you really understand everything about you. And Mo is going to be like your coach, again, with our medical team, to really act on what we have learned on your blood test to help you change behaviors if you want to, obviously, but to fix like the biomarkers that are off.
Now to just talk about the agents that you use kind of internally to, make the products like Mo. Could you talk about some of the use cases that you've had in the business where you've used Agentic AI to sort of boost productivity and efficiency?
I think we indeed three layers in the agentic work we do at Alan. There is a customer-facing product, so there is Mo, there is our Mo also does customer service, so 50% of customer service tickets are now automating with a satisfaction score that is equal or above to when it was human because it's faster, higher quality, and so on. And on top of that, then there is how we reinvent new jobs internally, fully agentic workflows that does stuff we didn't do before, like market research, competitive research. We are building a team for expansion right now, which is composed of agents, screening all the markets in the world, trying to build and start building the regulatory feeling to get an insurance license in those countries. So that's the kind of very fun thing we do where you do stuff that was not possible before because you needed to hire like 30 people to do, and then it's training agent. And then we take every single job, sales, marketing, design, product, engineering, and we try to reinvent every workflow. So in the last 2 years, we doubled the sales productivity because like what sales don't like, they don't like to prepare meetings and go search on the web. They don't like to feed the CRM. They don't like to write the follow-up emails. What they like to do is to be with the customer. And so we try to automate all the things they don't like. Usually it's done better as a result. And it scales, and so sales are more with the customer. It scales more, quality increase. And same with marketing, we create a pipeline to generate assets automatically, to test those assets automatically, and then to optimize the performance of our online ad campaigns automatically. Even if there is still human in the loop, it's getting better every single day. we used for design. We created asset generators, prototype generators that help the team like prototype any ID in a way that is really, really strong. We have agents working on Linear, which is our tool management, that start producing pull requests automatically. Like as every company, I guess, our most senior software engineers almost don't write a line of code themselves anymore, and they are managing a set of agents. So we built a tool internally that we call Hopper that is on top of those models, but that makes something that is really important at Alan, which we call everyone can build. And everyone can build is a tool that makes someone working in operations, someone working in customer service, or myself, being able to fix stuff in the product without being software engineers, and that is also really powerful. We created Everyone Can Discover, which is an agent that works on going through all our data, user research, customer service tickets, online forums to ask questions about a topic on our product, and it gives you the query on the information. And I'll finish with one, but because we have so many, Alan has a very peculiar culture where that has been designed for the agent world, even before the agent world existed, where every decision is made in a written way on GitHub, more or less. So we have 33,000, almost 34,000 decisions since the beginning of the company that have been documented. And so we are creating agents that work on that knowledge to help us make better decisions tomorrow that are more and more autonomous. I'm creating like my own chief of staff agent that is putting conclusions to those discussions, that is follow up on important topics, that is sharing to the company every single week what are the transversal topics that we need to solve. And so we are just improving like the agentic workflow everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jean-Charles wrote a very interesting LinkedIn post the other day where you spoke about your company as something that was designed because we believe adults with context and trust outperform organization charts, but the side effect turns out to be significant. Our company already runs on the substrate that agents thrive in: written context, clear ownership, decisions you can replay, no permission-seeking choke points. You must have felt pretty good when you realized that. Where have you had less success with agents? Or, you know, what is still in the works?
But I think it's the core of building stuff with new technology, that you will fail, and the question is, how do you push the boundaries of your imagination every time you interact with? So at the beginning, when we start using agents in engineering, the output was not super great in software engineering, but we kept building on it. Like the first version of my chief of staff was really, really bad and not useful, and so I stopped, and it's fine. But you just keep iterating until the technology gets better, until you get better at understanding how to leverage and use the technology. We switch models. Like Mo has been, took us 2 years to release to the full portfolio in France, because we were really strong on what is our evaluation framework, how do we make sure it's safe for our member, how we make sure that discussions are reviewed by doctors, are escalated well for doctors, how you do the right reinforcement learning. And so that's the kind of thing where it's just very hard work to build the pipes, to iterate, and just to keep increasing the quality.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I just want to sneak in a couple of questions about European sovereignty at the end of this panel. So Mistral has been quite vocal about European AI sovereignty. How does that philosophy filter into how you think about building Alan?
So we helped build Mistral a few years ago because we started working on AI at Alan even before the ChatGPT moment, and we felt that being depending only on US technologies for something that would be so core to healthcare, to education, to everything, was a huge risk for us and for Europe, and so we decided that we needed a European frontier lab, and we helped build it, even if like the Arthur, Guillaume, and Timothée are doing all the hard work. They are the one pushing the boulders every single day. And that doesn't mean you should not use US model, but you should use both, and you should make sure that if one day the US decide to unplug us, we have alternatives as well. And as much as you can use European models when they are the best. And I think sovereignty should not be an excuse to lower the bar of expectation. It should just push us to be the best globally in every single thing we do. And that's the goal we set ourselves for Alan. Like, we want to be the best in the world in prevention and insurance. And by doing that, we will win all over the market. Mistral has the same goal. They don't want to win because of sovereignty. They want to win. They want to be considered because of sovereignty, but they want to win because they have the best solutions in the world. And that, I think, what should drive us as Europeans is to enable companies to create global champions. And I think for healthcare and prevention, Europe has a very specific advantage where I think we have a different vision of what means joie de vivre, like happiness in life, how to combine healthcare and how to combine healthcare and like what matters in life, and not just be like longevity obsessed for the sake of it. So that's what we want to scale with a great vision of humanity, a great vision of technology, and the second asset of Europe, which can be seen as a drawback, but since it's a bit more fragmented, like as we needed to scale in Europe with Alan operating now in 4 countries, we are the only company on earth that built a global shared tech platform for health insurance that operates across countries, and it's a massive, it's a lot of pain, but it's a massive competitive advantage as well.
Mm-hmm. And have you seen sort of a growth in the interest of customers based on this sort of European sovereignty play?
I think in our case, we've seen it at Mistral. In the case of Alan, it's like you don't have many foreign companies in health, but I do think that people are asking themselves, like, should I trust Google on all my health data, or should I have a European player that can do it for me? And again, I think you should experiment, and I don't think that like everything is devil and so on. It's more like, how do you make sure that we have the best product and we are trusted and we are under the same regulations that make a lot of sense.
Okay, for a couple of quick fire questions now. What is your favorite personal health management tool? And you can't say.
I use Alan every single day, so I'm at 600 days of streak about my health. But I'm also a user of Whoop, for example, which I think is a good product. And we integrated the data from some of the data from Whoop in the Alan app to connect with your things. So we try to create that open ecosystem. But yeah, like things that help you get more data about yourself are very interesting.
And finally, please tell us about how you got Mbappe to attend your company's 10-year anniversary and invest in you guys.
Honestly, the reason was Mbappe has a few companies, like a studio, an association, and so on in France, and they were using Alan, like for the health insurance. And the employees were talking about Alan at the coffee machine. And the mother of Kylian, Faiza, was also using Alan, doing more steps thanks to us, and so on. And so they get to know us. We have some friends in common, and we entered in contact through that. And they were really fan of the product. They really believe in the future of healthcare, in prevention. Like when you are high-end athletes, like your body and your mind are your tools for success. And he believed that Alan was the best solution worldwide to bring that not only to the elite, but to the mass, to everyone. And we thought that he could help us bring that message. So we were really happy that he invested, that he becomes an ambassador, that we are co-building stuff. So in the app, you can compete with Kylian Mbappe in terms of number of steps. So pick your day wisely if it's a game match on one. But it creates a lot of engagement.
And who's your next dream ambassador?
Yeah, sorry?
Who's your next dream ambassador?
I cannot share it yet, but we have a few cool stuff coming.
Watch this space. Thank you so much.
Thank you.